Hello, friends. Today, we have the pleasure of introducing our guest, Anuradha Arvindraj, who recently made a successful transition from a project manager to a Scrum Master role. In this session, we will delve into her journey, exploring the steps she took, the methods, and the most importantly, the valuable lessons we can learn from her experience. But before we begin, we kindly request you to show your support by liking this session, subscribe to our channel CareersTalk, where you can find a wealth of information on Agile and Scrum. And if you appreciate the work we are doing, you can also join our YouTube monthly subscription starting from as low as $2 per month. Now let's begin by introducing Anuradha. Although she began her career in HR, she has always had a passion for working with people. Despite being a trailing spouse, Anuradha remained determined to stay engaged and active. She took on numerous projects within her community, providing assistance to many individuals, particularly children. Anuradha is highly active on LinkedIn, where we crossed paths a few months ago, and she already presented a video on pair programming on our channel. Since then, we have maintained a regular contact, and she is now a valued member of our WhatsApp group. So welcome, Anuradha. Thanks for giving your time today.
Oh, thank you, Sunand. It's been a pleasure. And thank you to you and the work that you do behind the CareersTalk. I myself have benefited a lot from it. So thanks to you. And the group and the questions that you post, it's all very informative. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Anu. Okay, so tell us about yourself in a brief, Anu. Let's start.
Yes. So, well, the name is Anuradha. I know that's a mouthful for a lot. You can call me, I'm being called Anu as well. Yes. So I started my career in HR, like Sunan said, and slowly transitioned into the role of a project manager, as in I picked up projects along the way, right? I mean, I didn't have people to hire me, but then I hired the projects. I went out and looked for projects myself. And then I did a lot of projects around the community. And eventually I found my passion towards being a Scrum Master. And like everyone else, I started my journey a few months ago, precisely 8 months ago. And then most recently I transitioned and then I got a role as a Scrum Master, and I now handle a team of 8 developers and a product owner in it. So that's my journey.
Great. Thank you for that, Anu. Okay. So what motivates you to transition to a Scrum Master role when you are already playing a role of a project manager?
That's a great question. Yes. So being a people person, I think a Scrum Master does a lot more to it, if I may be so bold myself. So dealing with people, right? So Scrum Master, you tend to do that naturally, and you being a part of Agile, right? So you set your own cadence, and then you get to meet more people. You get to see what the product owner has to offer, and then working with people in that team is what I loved doing. About being a project manager, you set and do certain things that you kind of, it's like giving command and control, which I didn't like. But being a Scrum Master is like being a good parent, right? As in you show things and then people pick it up. I know it's a cliche, it's a very cliche comparison to make, but then that's what it is, right? You show, set an example by you leading, and that's why I think they also changed from a servant leader to an actual leader. So you do that by being one yourself, and that's the reason I transitioned. And it's been brilliant. I've just enjoyed it so far.
Okay, great. Good to know. Okay. So let me ask you, like, if someone is about to start, or what steps did you take to acquire the necessary skills or the knowledge for the Scrum Master perspective?
Right. First of all, communication, right? So I think at
90%
very
time, 90% time, we are just doing the communication only, right? Nothing else.
exactly,
No code job,
it's
huh? Zero
no,
coding.
exactly. It's like I'm not even talking about the ability to communicate, but the ability to think what other people are saying, and then to be able to convert that with the group, or even more important is to understanding what's not being said, right? So that is also an important part of a Scrum Master. So that was something that I had to learn. Though I think, I presume I have a good communication, I still have to go deep in and see, what are the things that people need to use effectively to be an effective Scrum Master with regards to communication. That's to start off with. And then, of course, there are the tools that you want to learn, the other frameworks that you want to learn, because Scrum Master is not just with Scrum. You need to know Kanban, you need to know the XP, right? The extreme programming, because a lot of organizations now are a mix of both of these things. So just trying to learn about that, going to community of practices, just asking people questions, all those things is where I started. So, but to answer your question in precise is, of course, I started with communication, and then I started with how I can be a good mentor, how I can coach people. Do I have that skill in me to just to listen and to put the question back to them and then help them come back with the answer for themselves? And, all the different hats that the Scrum Master has to wear, I guess. So that's where I started. And yes, I'm still working on a few, to be honest, but it's a journey, right? It's not a destination. So I keep doing that.
Okay, great. Okay, so let me ask you the next question, and this question I would say is very important because I have seen many people who are into this journey and they struggle a lot. And the question is like, how do you handle the self-doubt or the imposter syndrome that may arise during your transition to the Scrum Master role? There might be a number of challenges which you have faced during this transition to the Scrum Master role. So how do you overcome all these issues, Anuradha?
That's a good question, Sumant. I think for me personally, I come from a non-technical background, right? So I'm not a developer myself. I don't code. So the first and foremost feeling that I have is, well, I have the respect from the developers, right? Because I don't know to code. But that's where you acting as a leader, showing the other capabilities that you have is very important. That you can lead the team, that you have their back, that you can support them, that you can help them with things is more important than just telling, hey, you know what, I can also code and you have to respect me as any other peers. So that was surreal, that feeling, especially not knowing, when you're not able to do something that your peers might be able to do. That was something that I had to overcome. And being a developer at any level, right? So I even handle teams from marketing who do Scrum. So as a developer, I know pretty well what job I have to do. And I even been a developer there, creating content and things like that. So coding is just a small part of it, but then you don't have to feel bad. And that was one thing that I have to overcome myself and then say, you know what, this is not a big thing. You can do other things that you can gain respect from the team and, help them and show them that you're there to, make them more effective as a Scrum Master.
Thank you, Anu. I just want to add one point over here.
Mm-hmm.
So, especially for Scrum Masters or wannabe Scrum Masters, that it's okay that you don't know the coding, but try to understand the larger landscape, that how the any project work. If you are going into any new team, spend some time to understand the jargon, at least try to understand the lingo which these people are talking about, right? No one is asking you to learn the code, but when you are going to communicate the challenges, the issues which your team is facing to the other external stakeholders, right? So at least you should able to make them understand that what exactly is the problem, the challenges, right? And there this communication skills came to picture. So it's a combination of both. Understand your project at least from a larger functionality perspective, end to end, what is my downstream, what is my upstream, what the database which we are using, what kind of tools which we are using, but at least have a knowledge of those. You cannot just play the role of a PMO over there who's just setting some meetings out there. That's not, anyway, we are going to discuss that in upcoming
I
sessions,
agree.
but
Yes, absolutely. I totally agree with you. To be able to understand the difference between Cucumber being a testing tool and being the Cucumber actually vegetable as a Scrum Master, I think, once you get in there to understand just not the software development life cycle, but then to be also able to understand, as you said, what are the tools being used, what are the, like, for example, the backend. This morning I was learning something called Cortex, and it is a tool that has helped for product managers to be able to know how much of their product is selling and to get that data that they need. So I totally support that. As Scrum Master, you can just not be the person who takes the whip and then says, let's get the work done, but then to understand what's going on, the process behind it is actually going to help them. Yes, spot on.
So why I'm sharing this? Because I have seen, especially nowadays, the people not even from IT background, they are joining this whole Scrum Master positions, right? So at least understand what is software development life cycle is all about, right? At least understand those
Absolutely.
basics, that how the software work. What is actually the software, first of all? Forget about Agile and Scrum, right? Someone is
Mm-hmm.
going to ask, okay, what is the software or what is the software development life cycle? So SDLC is not the end, that okay, just go for and understand that how it works, because there are again a variation of that, right? So if you
Mm-hmm.
understand at least the larger picture, it will definitely going to help, especially if you are not from IT background. So there are
Mm-hmm.
two type of transition. Let's say if I am let's say a developer, and then I am shifting to a role of a scrum master, or if I'm a tester, right, then I'm shifting to the role of a scrum master. Maybe it's something easy for me. But let's say we are
Mm-hmm.
totally from a different background. Let's say we are from a some teacher, or let's say if you are some, I don't know, like from some army background or something like that, right? Understand the first, like how this industry work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then only the chances is that you will be able to succeed in a long run. And
Mm-hmm.
there are a lot of misconceptions about this role, which anyway we are going, that's my next question to you, Anu. Like, there is a popular belief that maybe what is your perspective on the perception that being a scrum master is an easy job? So what is your
Ah.
take on that?
Oh, yeah. So what you paired, the previous question goes well with this, right? So just thinking that it's enough to only be a scrum master is like it's like a cherry on top of the cake. It's not that. It's like I when I had to get into this role, I had to work backwards. Like I had to see if I were to give a job today, right? How would I be able? Will I be able to do it? So will I be able to not just setting up meetings? That is all work that even an AI tool, if you can pick it up and do that. But will I be actually able to help a team? How do I do that? Do I know what the role of a product owner is? What I mean, am I able to coach the product owner? How can they write better user stories, right? So am I able to see what the developers are doing? Are they doing code reviews well? Is the code in a good state, right? Like if you have to work to go and fix a bug, how quickly can the developers do it? It's that belief, that it's the thing that they say, right? How well do you leave something? So is the code really written well so that it doesn't have any technical debt? How good are those? So being a scrum master, I think I thought it was I wouldn't say it was an easy job, but then when you play in reality, you get to know a lot more things, which I had to really work backwards to be able to doing, in the front end. So I had to do a lot of homework behind, and that's how I think I'm still doing a good job at that. Yes.
Okay, so next one is about what advice would you like to give to all those people who want to become a scrum master? And you can just share whatever is your experience, your journey, your certification, other things which you are doing right now or you have done so far.
Yes.
Anything for, yeah. Please go
Yes,
ahead.
it's just not one thing, right? The first and foremost thing is I started getting very active on LinkedIn just to be able to be seen by others. Once people see you, and then that's how I got to know about other opportunities that I can attend. Meetups are a great place to go learn, to go network. Just when I say being active on LinkedIn, not just writing content out there, it's just also being on the lookout for who you can connect with, who you can network with, probably who I have an army of people right now that I can go and ask for help. And just sitting at a daily scrum, if I were to just post a question and in LinkedIn, I can get an answer, right? So it's that network that you're going to create and have that. And the certification, don't just get stuck with just one certification like CSM, because to be a good scrum master, I think you also need to know the roles and responsibilities of a product owner, of a developer. So that's the reason I went and got ahead a CSPO certification, a CSD certification. These actually tremendously helps. Coming from a non-technical background, I got to know what the developers can do from a Scrum team. And did you know, Sunan, for a fact that there are very few certifications given for CSDs, and there are like only 1/3 of that for the CSD, Scrum certified Scrum developers. And that's the reason I think for Scrum masters to go and implement Scrum in the teams are much more difficult, right? Because you are the person who's going there literally marketing Scrum, literally teaching Scrum to people. But then if they were to be certified, the developers themselves, it's going to make the job much more easier for us. So that's the get your certification, not just CSM, right? Just make sure you go and look at the other certifications you have. And LinkedIn is a great place where you can also see where people come and offer other free certifications, right? There are a lot of places that I recently benefited from, where you can go and get better at something. Like example, there was a better Scrum certification that I got recently, which is enlightening. It was mind blowing. It was like taking Scrum to another level, right? You as a person, you think that you know so much about Scrum. It was so meager. It was just what to say. It was brilliant to see that I only knew like 1/3 or 1/4 of it, what the person was saying. So there is room for improvement is what I'm trying to say, right? So go attend these meetups, listen to podcasts. This is like the next thing to slice bread, I'd say. I keep listening to podcasts, not only based on Scrum and Agile. I listen to podcasts by Simon Sinek, how to be a better leader, Marsha Acker, all these things. This is going to help you be a better person in your team, also make your team to become self-managing themselves. So yes, I think I've covered it all, right? Networking, certifications, meetups, podcasts, read books. I have a few books right here that I can show you. I have Drive, I have Fix Your Scrum by Ted and Ryan. These are all great books that you can read in your own space. The last and the important thing is communities of practice. There are a lot of communities of practice out there that you have a group of people network who come and talk about it. Few are free, few are paid, but just be a part of it where you can actually go ask questions, because Scrum is based about humans, isn't it? It's all based about the problems that you face as a human. It's easy to code, as people say. When you have to work with people, you need a lot more patience, and you need a lot more people that you can ask feedback from. So these community of practice is where you can go post a question, especially these lean coffee sessions. If you have to attend one, you can just go simply post your question, and then you will come up with an array of answers that you can take back and try for yourself as a Scrum Master. So yeah, these are the things. Go look for a community of practice and join today. And I think that's all. I covered everything, I guess. I had 5 points in my head, and I think I covered everything. Yes.
Okay. I just want to add something, whatever you have mentioned. So yes, as you rightly said, your network is your net worth nowadays. So that's very important. Other thing is, whoever is watching this, we are not recommending any certification. Yes, Anu has done a great so many certification. The point is that diversify yourself, understand the roles and responsibility of other roles like PO or a business analyst or architect or a developer, or of course Scrum Master, because you're going to be a Scrum Master. So all these roles are very important. Understand, because until and unless you understand what exactly that particular role is about to do, how you will going to collaborate, communicate with that, right? That you should know that, okay, this challenge, this issue is going to be heard by PO. This problem is going to heard by my architect. This is the
Mhm.
problem of developer, right? So you have to be very clear. And again, certification is just a very small medium. And no 2-day certification will going to be make you a Scrum Master or product owner or anything, right? So please remove
Absolutely.
that perception. People, that's why I feel that's very easy job, just do 2-day certification and then they struggle. I have seen a lot of
Mhm.
people who came to me that, okay, hey Sunan, I have done certification 6 months back, but I'm struggling. And when I just had I mean, and I know everything, don't worry about this and that, I just need some job or to take my mock interview, this and that. And when I ask them very small basic question, they struggle. The
Mhm.
foundation
Mhm.
is not there at all. They spend a
Mhm.
lot of money amount that, okay, I've done this cohort session, that cohort session, but no one is going to make you a Scrum Master. You yourself can make you a Scrum Master. It's very important, right? If you are spending so
Exactly.
much money amount, it's not going to help, right? Because you
Mhm.
have to be take charge of your own career, and it's not
True.
going to be an easy thing. It's not any shortcut. When you do your
Mhm.
masters, you do your whatever engineering, you spend a lot of time and energy. You have to read those books. There is no
Mhm.
shortcut, right? All these my videos, any one videos, right? It's not going to help you. Maybe you will crack the interviews, but then you will struggle
Mhm.
when we will on
True.
the job, right? So spend your time,
Absolutely.
read some good great books, follow some great channels, do all those podcasts, go and do, there are a lot of events nowadays. It's and everything is online nowadays. You don't have to go physically over there, right? But you have to
Right.
invest your time and energy. Right. So
Absolutely.
that's the last thing which just I want to convey. Anu.
Absolutely. But then I will also say that, right? I mean, as you said, one more thing that I'd like to add is you can practice Scrum by yourself in the house, right? I started
Absolutely.
off in my house with my kids, just getting the chores done in the house. So we will have a week sprint just to make sure that, the kids go ahead, do their work. And then we'll do a sprint retrospective on a Saturday morning. And then their work starts again on a Sunday. There are a lot of things that you can pick projects from, like if you want to lose weight, if you want to move out of a house, if you want to buy a new house, pull in all
It's
the
everywhere. It's
knowledge that
everywhere.
you've gained.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah,
just everywhere.
pull in all the knowledge and then just go create your own board in Jira and then, be your own Scrum Master. So that's how you learn. And that's how, when you get into a team, you're going to help the other person. So you cannot preach something that you don't know yourself. So I'd also recommend highly, being your own Scrum Master for your own projects in the house, that you can simply pick up few things and you can practice yourself.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So thank you, Anuradha, for sharing your expertise and insights on becoming a Scrum Master. Your knowledge has been very helpful, and I'm sure our viewers have learned a lot from this session. So friends, before we finish, I want to remind our viewers to show your support by liking this video, subscribe to our channel, and until next time, take care, stay inspired, keep achieving great things. This is Sunil Sharma signing off. Thank you, Anu. Bye.
Thank you, Sunan. Thanks for the opportunity. Bye.